Hi everybody, welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the really cool workflow that I built for me and my team that we can take one YouTube video and then generate content that is very optimized for different social media platforms, and then we can post it on these social media platforms after it's been approved by a human. This is going to be the part number 2 from a 2-time series. If you haven't checked the first part video, please make sure to go and check that YouTube video where I explain to you how to actually generate this content. After the content is generated and it's been approved by a human, usually me or one of my editors, we click one button to approve the content, and then it gets automatically posted on all the different social media platforms. This workflow has actually saved me around 5 to 10 hours a week in content editing and content posting, and it just made our work so much easier. For this purpose, we use N8N, but you can use also make.com, I think. You can also use other tools like Zapier. I'm a big fan of N8N because it's Berlin-based, it's European, and it has the AI agent functionality, so I'm a big fan of it. But feel free to use the similar workflow with whatever tools you like. So before we go to the workflow, my name is Sarab. I have an AI automation agency based in Berlin called Neuronics, and I have been building products and AI workflows over the past 6 months. And I'm here to share with you some of the learnings that I've had throughout building AI projects for clients and also AI automations for me and my team. So without further ado, let's jump in and let's have a look at what I've built. So first of all, let me share with you how the things actually look like. So if you're unfamiliar with this is an Airtable database. What it basically does is just like an database with different columns, similar to Google Sheets. But the main advantage here is that it supports multi-type format. So you can have something like here, like a button. You can also have like an images. You can have some text. So it's super useful, especially when you want to use automations based on whatever you have here. For example, here you have like an approval checkbox that looks like a Boolean, but it makes it super useful to add some automations on top, basically. So as I mentioned, this is part number 2 of a 2 series. The first part, we focused on how to actually create this content based on these captions. So if you haven't watched this video, make sure to go and watch it before you continue into the posting. Or if you just have the system already, or you have a team who actually write these YouTube descriptions, for example, here, this is the description that we add to our YouTube video usually, then you don't have to go back because you have that already. You can check out how we do this automatic posting, because this would be such a time saver for you. The main idea before that I explained is that whenever you record a video using some sort of tools like Loom or Riverside, I use personally Riverside, but I'm a big fan of Loom as well. I started also using it because Loom allow you to download the video automatically. So that's super, super useful. You can, using N8N, download the video and then upload it automatically after it's being approved with the thumbnail, the title, with the description. So it makes the download and upload super, super efficient. For Riverside, you can also do this, but you need to pay for the business plan, which is a little bit more expensive, especially if you're starting. So for this case, I'm going to show you the Loom example, because this is what I started using. And now, as I said, we switched to Riverside because the quality of the videos are a little bit higher. And then the audio also is a little bit better. So after everything is created, as I mentioned before, there's a human. It's usually me. I look it through, I approve everything, and I make sure everything looks great. And technically, after I click approve, everything should be posted on the different social media platforms. So I have a Reddit post, I have a LinkedIn post, and I have my YouTube video. Let's jump into N8N and have a look into how does this workflow look like. As the video before, we would have like an Airtable trigger that gets triggered whenever I do any changes here. So it's basically just listens to any modifications in the database, and then this executions get triggered. Usually it'll be on active, so I don't even have to go to N8N. I can just do my stuff from here, and then the automations get triggered in the background, which I found super, super time saving and super useful. So after the Airtable gets triggered, we need to basically find the last row that was modified, which is we doing like with this step. I'm going to go a little bit more details a little bit later of how the different components interact with each other. So you can also copy this and build it for your own business. But basically, we have a look at the last modified row. Then we check, is this row approved or not? If it is approved, then what we do, we download the YouTube video, which is being saved here. So the Loom link, when you create an actual video on Loom, it shows you something like this, where you have like this shareable link. And then all what you need to do is to copy this link, save it in your database, and then also copy here the actions. So transcribe, you can copy the transcription and then post it in this column. So here you need to actually enter it and then post it. And basically this automation is ready. All what you need is to click this button, generate the content. These columns here get filled, and then you click approve. So we're now at the step where we approved. And then what you do from this link, so you extract the Loom link, extract the video ID. You need to get like a downloadable link, download the Loom video. These are like custom HTTP requests that I'm going to go into more details how to build them. And N8N has some YouTube support, so you can automatically upload the video to YouTube. The N8N also has support for LinkedIn post upload, so you can upload actual image post to LinkedIn, which is also super useful. Here is the secret sauce. So this is something that took me some time to figure out, was a bit annoying. If you want to upload stuff to Reddit, you can just use there's like some integrations with N8N and Reddit. Some Reddit communities require very specific things. So let me show you. So I like to post things on this N8N community. And this N8N community is, if you want to create a new post, it requires you to add these flares and tags. And the N8N, the normal N8N integration, if you look at Reddit, like here, create a post, it doesn't have this as an argument. So you cannot actually post anything that would require such a thing. So you can actually do post on your own profile. So that's absolutely fine. I'm actually also going to show you a small thing that took me some time to figure out how to post things on your profile. Yeah, if you want to post something on a community, for example, N8N, you need to do something specific. And here you also need to make sure that the posts don't get banned. I'm going to also share with you like just a little insight of which posts get banned for me and which ones didn't. I'm also going to show you how to create a link post. So for example, you can link your YouTube video, and on Reddit, it actually looks really nice. You can play the YouTube video on Reddit while you're watching the community. So it's a great way to also market yourself or drive some traffic, especially in early stages, similar to this one. Maybe you actually came from Reddit, I'm not sure, but it definitely helps increasing your YouTube engagement, especially in early times. For the LinkedIn post, I like to create like an image post where I would share like the workflow that I did. So something like this, and then I would add a title and I would add maybe the steps and some engagement. So with the LinkedIn post, I'm not trying to bring traffic to my YouTube channel anymore. I like to maybe focus on the LinkedIn people, give them what they need there, because I notice people don't really switch between platforms. I tried it with my podcast where I was like advertising for my podcast on LinkedIn. It didn't really work. People didn't really switch, because imagine you're on LinkedIn app and then you have to switch to YouTube. I think this is too much of a mental thing to do the switch. So what I try to give people is like some small bites of information that they can just pick, maybe also do some comments, so do some engagement. So you can also increase your LinkedIn portfolio, your LinkedIn engagement, and like subscribers. And that's basically it. So now you would have 3 different platforms that you post this. You can also add this on X or Reddit. You can add it on X, for example. So Twitter, if you want, also Instagram. But usually for these kind of videos, the main channels are like LinkedIn. I recently discovered Reddit, and to be honest, most of my posts, I posted like one thing there that was like fairly normal, like not even great, and it got around like K views because this N8N community is so vibrant. So I would also recommend you to advertise your stuff there. Not advertise, but like comment and share, of course, because Reddit is very regulated with these moderators. So if they notice that you're just like pushing your content and you're not giving some value back, it could be problematic and you can get banned. Okay, and now we're going to get a little bit more into the details, how you can build this yourself. And we can start with the Airtable trigger. So here to build this trigger, you basically just go to Airtable, scroll down, and then on a new table event. And as I showed you before, you just need to authenticate with Airtable, basically create an Airtable token, and you need to either create here by an ID, or you can choose also by URL. I chose by ID, and the way you get your ID is basically you get it from here. So this is the ID. This is for the base, and then for the table, the value that's right after it. So basically when you copy these ones and then add it for the trigger, this would be triggered whenever you do any modification to the table. And now we want to make sure that we only want to pick up the last row that was modified. And this is what is done here in this step. In this step is basically a search. So when you go to Airtable, it's a search operation. So you go here, so search records. You can also just pick up any one of them, and then with the resource, you can go to the records and then the operations. Technically, you can also reach them from here, so you can choose whatever operation you would like. So this would be the search one. Again, here from the list. So this is similar to what we did before with the IDs. You can do it here from a list, because this integration allows you to use lists, which I think is so much easier, because this does the searching itself, and then you can choose with whatever you'd like. Here is important. I always put a limit of 1. I don't want to receive multiple rows, because sometimes it also, even if the row wasn't modified, it would give you this row. So here is important. I always give me just a limit of 1, because me and my team, we always would click approved just for a 1, make sure it's been uploaded, and then maybe we do some changes for the next video and then also upload it. So technically it can also work if you just start clicking, pop, here, approve, approve, approve. But for making sure that nothing goes wrong, me and my team, we just click approve once, see it, make sure everything's been posted correctly, and then if not, we can delete or change or do some adjustments. But so far, the system has been super reliable, so I'm really happy for that. Here is important in the sorting, to put the modified time to descending. The first row, you would always get the latest one that was modified. And that's it. For the attachments, here is important. You need to download the LinkedIn image. For the YouTube thumbnail, I'm going to show you something that's a bit annoying. It's a bit frustrating with N8N. There is a way around it, because I've seen it somewhere else, but I'm going to show you what I mean. So something that just kind of, if it was possible with N8N, it would make this whole thing so much more enjoyable. I will show you what I mean in a second. It's basically, you cannot upload YouTube thumbnail from here. There is no N8N integration again, but it's available in make.com. So you can build this with make.com much easier. But yeah, right now we focus on N8N. I'm sure we can also build a custom HTTP request to do this, similar to what also I showed you for the Reddit. For the purpose of now, should be also fine. This is a similar step to what we did earlier, but in this case, we are just looking at the triggers. We want to look at this column where it said approval. Let's see what it is. So JSON approved, approval status, waiting for approval. And then I can't see it. Approved. Here we go. So whenever the approved is true, we start the different posting. So now regarding Loom. Loom is very simple to download the videos. They have an amazing API integration, super easy and chill to use. As I showed you, the link looks like this. So technically, we just need this part here, like the actual ID. So this one here. And after we get it, so here it's to extract. The extraction is super chill. You just need to split the actual text by this one. So if you know some programming, looks like also similar to Python, but technically you just split the long text whenever this line happens. So you can see it here. So it would give us a list of these different components. And by pop, we're just saying, just give us the last one. So we get the actual video ID. And after you get the video ID, you need to download the video. And downloading the video, you just need an HTTP request. You can get it from here, HTTP request, this one. And you need to put this URL, which is called Loom API campaigns sessions, and then the video ID, and then transcoded URL. Funny enough, you don't need authentication at all. All these videos are accessible to everybody, and it will give you this downloadable URL. So technically, you can also download this video as well. Just do this, post, there's no authentication, anybody can access it. This would give you this URL, which is the download URL. And then what you need is you need to do basically just call this URL. So you need to call it using a get method. So again, similar to here, this HTTP request, and then you just do get method, and then you just pick up the one from previous. And then this one, again, no authentication. In the response, you need to make that the response format is a file, and the file is in form of data. To upload this video to YouTube, we need it in form of binary. And here you basically tell the HTTP request that please make sure that this data is in binary, and you do this by, usually we get the responses in JSON. This is not what we want. We want it in binary. So you say response format is file. And then here you just call it a name. It's called here data, could be anything. For the final piece for the YouTube, if you go to here YouTube, you have an option here to upload a video, This is basically what this one is. And then you need to create authentication. In this YouTube channel, I don't really focus on these like small details. I just like to show you the systems, and I'm sure you are smart enough to go somewhere and figure out how to connect this with YouTube. Technically, the process is very similar to Google. It's very similar to how to create a Google Drive authentication. You need a client ID, so you need to go to your Google GCP console and then create this client ID and secret ID and like enable it, and then you can do these calls. So it allows you to interact with YouTube in a programming way. If you're not sure, just YouTube somewhere like how to connect N8N with YouTube, and then you can find exactly this tutorial. Here, basically what we need to do is to upload the title that you can choose here. As I showed you, the operation is to upload. You can then add some stuff to it. The most important part is this one. So the input binary field, you need to put the data. So the same name as the downloaded video. And here you can start adding some options. So usually here, there's not many options to start with. And then you click on this one and you start add all what you want. The main part is you want to add a description, whether to notify subscribers or not, to public see the stats, if this is important for you, some tags, and the privacy status. So this is important. If you want to upload a video and it automatically just upload it on YouTube channel, you put this to public. I put it to private, so maybe just for like testing, so I don't upload a video and have to delete it if something went wrong. But to really use this automation, you put this to public and then it's done. The video is there. As you noticed, something is missing, right? So where's the thumbnail goes? So that's the only limitation with this workflow. It generates a thumbnail that is automatic from the video. So it gets automatically generated. But of course, I know a lot of us, the thumbnail is a super, super important part of YouTube videos. So this is the unfortunately one missing part of this automation on N8N. But it is possible to do it on make.com, for example. Let me show you how to do it. So let's create a new scenario. So if you go to here to YouTube, you can also use the same automation on make.com. As I said, these are only tools. So you can just play around with certain things because sometimes it just saves you so much time. Here, for example, you can upload the video. With this upload video, it also doesn't have the thumbnail. So it has its privacy, blah, blah, blah. But as you see, no thumbnail, right? So to update the thumbnail, you can here set a video thumbnail, upload a custom thumbnail, set it to the video. So that's what you technically need. Here, after you upload it, maybe to private, you can create a video ID and then create the thumbnail data, which needs to be in binary, and then you have it. I haven't done it here actually, but if you're interested, I can also do it for you. But I was really curious to see that, yeah, there is an option to do this with make.com. But that's the first automation for YouTube, which already saved us so much time because of the downloading, the uploading, and all this kind of stuff, and saving this downloaded files on our local machines. It saved us time and space. Now going to the LinkedIn post, again, you need to authenticate with LinkedIn, so you can also send requests to LinkedIn. The credentials, again, similar thing where you have to connect with LinkedIn. Actually, this is a very interesting because when you're authenticating, the default setting comes as you are an organization. But if you're posting on your personal account, then you need to turn this off. Otherwise, it won't work. So this is very important. And then you just connect it to your account. And then it shows you like the LinkedIn authentication flows. Maybe I can show you how it's done. Yeah, so you need to turn this off, definitely. And you just click here, connect, and then you connect it with your LinkedIn. This took me to figure out like so much time because by default, you wouldn't think that LinkedIn is thinking of you as an organization. And if you want to post it on your personal profile, then you need to turn that off. For the text, you need to create your person name. I think usually here it pops out whenever you connect the person associated with that account and it's a person. What I usually choose is this one here, like it's an image post. You can choose either an article, an image, or a text. Will only consist of text. So I like to add an image where technically I can show you here the image. It looks like the workflow. I have the text, I have the title. So the title is usually something that starts in the top and then you have the text. After this is controlled, it gets automatically posted for you and the visibility is public. That's basically it. You have then the LinkedIn post. I'm not going to start it here because then I will have to post this on LinkedIn, but basically these are all the steps that you need. Now we're getting a little bit more complicated. I told you I had to walk around this Reddit issue that they are not supporting these hooks that I needed. Not hooks, but these flares and tags. So here, first of all, if you want to post on N8N or any different community that has it by requirement to add these flares and tags, what I mean by flares and tags is like you need to add whenever you post something, whether it's a question, a workflow, a discussion, and then you need to add the IDs of these tags. And how do you find the IDs? If you're working with Google Chrome, you go to inspect. This will allow you to inspect the page and see like the data that is behind it. So if we go and choose this one, for example, and then click again and then inspect again, it opens it up a little bit. Let's open, I still cannot see. Perfect. And technically you need to, sometimes you need to click it again for it to move a little bit. So you need to look at this code here. This is an HTML code. Technically you need to find where's this flare ID. So you see this one, the flare ID, and this is the value. So depending on what kind of workflows you're posting, I usually post a workflow, but the code is not included. The value for my flare ID that I need to put in the API is this one. So you need to just copy this one and then put it in your API call. So whenever you post a post on Reddit and you want to tag it with a certain flare, you need to add this ID. And this is what I'm technically doing here. Let's have a look. It's a little bit long. So we're creating HTTP request. It's a post request to this URL, which is the submit URL of the Reddit API. Here I found is a very important thing. So if you go here and then go to Reddit and then let's say create a post, and let's say you want to create a new credential and you're authenticating with Reddit. Reddit authentication was a little bit long, similar to the Google one. You need to create like an application on Reddit, give it a client ID, client secret, and then give it a name, maybe N8N automation. And then you can actually call the N8N API. Before that, you cannot call the N8N API. But again, there's your setup instructions. Have a look. Are having amazing instructions, like very detailed of what needs to be done. So either do that or maybe watch another YouTube video that connects the Reddit account to your N8N. The really interesting part, once you do this once, you can actually access it from a normal HTTP request. Let me show you how that's done. So let's say this is HTTP request. I want to call Reddit API, like the URL that I was talking about. But then if you go here, you can go to predefined credential type. And then from the type, you select for Reddit. And then it shows you the exact one that you just defined, right? And then it copies basically all the tokens, everything that you need. So you don't need to create these new headers or any authentication types that you usually. And I love this because it saves me so much time, especially it gives me more energy and more confidence to create custom API requests. So that's basically what we did here. You just credential type, Reddit auth API. In the headers, you still need to add some things. One of them is this user agent thing where you need to copy this one. This value is something very specific to the Reddit API. And here you need to just copy the username of your API request, like your actual username. So you can find it here, this one. After the U, this one is your username. Yeah, basically you add this. The body here, again, there are some parameters you need to have a look at. And the first one, you need to set the body, of course. And to make this work, you need to choose the body content type and choose the first one. So from form, and then you need to specify the fields. The first field is called SR. Here you define the channel, this one, N8N. So whatever community or subreddit that you want to send this to, here's where you define it. The kind is basically what kind of post do you want to do. In this example, I'm sending a normal post, just like a title and text, no image, nothing else. The next one, I'm going to show you how to send an actual YouTube video link that pops out with some description. So you don't get banned and you can also advertise for your YouTube video. You need to add if it's a self, so kind self, so it's a text video, you need to add a title and you need to add a text. And here you basically take whatever the AI agent wrote you. So I just automated, blah, 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 save me hours. Here, again, very important thing for Reddit. So this is actually done before I updated the policy because I'm posting these things and I'm also learning with, how the process works. So something like this, let me see. Something like this would get banned because you are not really providing value. You just say, yeah, I just automated, imagine, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really provide anything. So what you need to change, you can also tell the AI agent, like, hey, this is my video. Make sure to generate me a content that explains in bullet points what are the steps that this workflow is helping with, what is the input, what is the output, and you post it with the image or the YouTube video, but you provide clear value into how to recreate this. This is what they want, basically, is like, how did you do this? Not just trying to sell it and maybe divert people to like a paid workflow, which you can see in the N community. You can create these like paid workflows and people try to like, hey, like this is, I've done this, save me so much time, go and buy it somewhere else. Reddit community don't want this, of course. So the final thing, API type, JSON, and here's this flare ID, and this is what we just copied, what I showed you. This is very specific for workflows with no code, but if you want something else, I showed you how the process basically works and you can find the ID for that. Here, I basically would love to add again the post to Airtable. So after I post the Reddit post, I want to know what is the Reddit post ID. Why would I want this? Originally, I thought after I post something, maybe I would love to add a comment to it, maybe with a link, maybe it was initially thought maybe I can create Reddit posts that have like text and images that provide value. And then if there's a lot of interactions, or maybe not, I can send a link or like a comment on this post saying, oh, by the way, this is the link for the YouTube video. So after this is posted, I would get the link to this YouTube video. Let's see, that does it get provided? So here it provide upload ID. So there's also a process to get the actual URL, or maybe have like some triggers that if a new video gets uploaded to your NetN or to your YouTube channel, you get the URL link. And I wanted to add a comment basically, hey, go check out this video. Hopefully that would add more traffic to the video and advertise it. So I put in it here for now. I haven't done this yet because I'm posting it basically using this part. I stopped doing this, but just for the sake of demonstration, I'm adding it for you so you can know also how to do that. But what I'm doing is technically all here the same steps. What you need to change is just the kind. It needs to become a link, and you still have a title, you still have a text, but what changes is this URL, where here I add the Loom link. Loom links don't work so nicely on Reddit. If you go to Reddit and you see these nice videos, this is technically people uploading it through here. So uploading the actual video. This is the link that I'm mentioning. If you add a link here, what looks really nice is the YouTube ones. The YouTube ones, I think they have nice integrations. You can play it directly there, as I mentioned. So yeah, here would be the uploaded YouTube video. So this step has to wait until the YouTube video has been uploaded, and then you have a trigger. So if you're interested in this process, how I wait for the YouTube video to be uploaded and then add the link to the Reddit, let me know in the comments and I can make a video about that. In the meantime, this basically is the whole process. You have posted content that is automatically generated by one-time work, and you have 5 times or 3 times more results. This is what I love about AI. This is what I love about agents. We're not giving all the work for them because we are managing things. We are having a look, a human inside, changing the content the way we like. But this honestly have saved me, as I said, around 5 to 10 hours. And I was mind blown how can these components play with each other and then generate such a very impressive system. But that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I believe if it helped me, it definitely can help you and can definitely help you improve your engagement and your content generation game. So thank you so much for listening, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would love to hear all your feedback about how I'm doing with the explanation. Would you like me to go slower, faster? Would you like me to create these systems with you? Just let me know in the comments, and I would love to hear a little bit more about what you like and dislike about my explanation style. Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in the next video.